Hey guys, BaayTa here. Today we're going to take a look at a power bank that is able to charge almost all of our devices without having to carry any other power pack. It has 15,600 milliamp hours rated inside. Two ports to be able to charge two things at the same time. But not only that, it has a very nice sleek design. So let's check it out. This is the box that the power pack comes in. It's very minimalistic in design. Just has the AIBOCN name of the company, the wisdom of life. And if we turn it over, all we get in the back is the information regarding this 15,600 milliamp hours power bank, an external power pack, of course. It just has information regarding the two ports. So we have a 2.1 and a 1 amp output at 5 volts, and the maximum input is 2 amps, and the maximum is obviously at 5 volts. Nice design. You notice the box is kind of long, so let's go ahead and open it up. The main thing out of the box itself, the way we get here, is that it's essentially the power back. It's from the design itself, it's not that bad. It's longer in design, and it's about the thicknesses of most of the other power packs I've reviewed and I've seen in at least in the recent history. Not that heavy, but it definitely does reflect the fact that it is 15,000 milliamps. Next thing we have here is a small manual, just gives us information on how to read the information off of it. Of course, this is the indication so that we know how much battery we have left within our system. So we have 3 lights, as we see here, which is basically about 50 to 75%. The last thing we have in the box is just, the actual power cable itself to charge it up. At first glance, when you first look at this design itself, it's actually pretty nice. We don't have a lot of ports on this other than the 2 main ports, the 2.1 amp and the 1 amp, and of course the USB cable connector, and the last but not least, a power button just to kind of be able to turn it on and also get the indicator of how much power we have. If you plug in something to it before turning it on, if let's say the lights were not on, it doesn't automatically charge. So it has a built-in feature that you have to turn it on. Otherwise, it doesn't do that. But the one thing that I'm hoping you guys will see, and I'll show you guys a picture real quick, it has some really nice stitching on all around the actual unit itself. Almost very reminiscent of such a device that Samsung released not that long ago, a few years back, the Note 3. And this is something that really looks nice on the actual Note, making it look kind of like a little notebook. And this is what this design, it almost looks like they're a match made in heaven. For some reason, the design, I'm sure, had a lot of inspiration from the Note line. And again, this will charge any Note device, over and over. This is 15,000. This is only a 3,000 milliamp power pack. So overall, very nice. We're going to go through and try to go ahead and do some testing as far as charging on here. And for that, we're going to be using my standard USB meter. And we're going to be connecting that to multiple devices and see if it does actually in fact charge, and of course the ampage that we're getting out of it, or the milliamps out of it. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to connect it to the side. As you notice, it turns on the lights right away, and I'm going to connect it to small devices first. I'm going to connect it to my LG G4. Sure enough, we got the indication, and we are at 1.8, I think at the maximum I saw, so a little over an amp, and both, of course, at 5 volts. So charging, no problem for the G4. Of course, we're not questioning the fact that it charges the G4. It's more of how much power we're able to get out of it. We're going to go over to the Nexus 6. And yes, sure enough, we are able to charge it. And again, almost about 1 amp. And I think to be expected from most smartphones. This is not turbocharging, so it's not the version 2.0 of the Qualcomm Quick Charge. We definitely will get normal rate, but it does charge the device at a really good speed. The last thing we're going to do, obviously, is something that's a little bit more hungry as far as power requirement, and that is a tablet. So we're going to put it in against my Tab S. This is the 10.1. Let's go ahead and plug it in. I got the indication, the sound indication that it went in, and as we see here, it bumped it up to 1.2, 1.27 actually. For the actual milliamps that's coming out, still at 5 volts. Yep. As you guys saw with the hands-on, the design is really nice. It has a lot of inspiration from the Note 3 as far as the stitching, and that's the only point of reference that I have as far as the actual how it looks. 2 ports, charge 2 devices, pretty good. We were able to get a pretty good output out of both of them. I find that sometimes in a lot of these power banks that the rating that you get on the ports is really almost subjective, I say. Because the fact of the matter is I'm able to get over 1 amp out of both of them. So it tells me that basically I can get a good rating out of both of those sides. The inclusion of the button to be able to see how much power we have on the side is really good because it gives us the ability to kind of right away see if we have juice in this, if not, put it back on the charge and go get the next one. The fact that it's 15,000 or a little over 15,000 milliamps will charge almost everything. That's literally like 5 notes, which essentially is not ever going to be a scenario that anybody would be walking with, right? Anyways, I like the fact that, you know, how it works. It's easy, it's simple, it'll fit in almost any place you'd like it. It does reflect the weight of actually a 15,000 milliamp battery, so definitely be aware that it does have some weight on it. But it will fit, and it should be able to charge everything that you have, especially if you're like me, carrying 2 phones at all times. Definitely want to have something to be able to charge those guys and even, you know, do it again. So as usual, thank you for AIBOCN. Hopefully I'm saying the name correctly, for sending me this unit for review. I appreciate you sending guys this unit for me. But as usual, like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of this battery pack. And I'll give you guys a link in the description below for the Amazon store to be able to pick up one for yourself if you'd like. As usual, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.